Okay, well, welcome back, everybody. It's been a little bit since we've looked at this. Today we're not going to be doing much modding per se, but we are going to go through the process of actually putting some mod packages together. We're going to do a simple one for MNRL today. We're going to actually take the wonderful DeLorean DCM12 mod, and we're going to package it up for some mini-series events we plan to do for MNRL Championship. So we'll get right into it. And we'll check out what we have going on here. So we'll just pull up this packages folder. I actually don't have anything in the packages folder right now. I deleted it. Why did I delete it? Let's actually restore that. I'll pull this over here. Restore. Okay. Actually, there wasn't anything on there in case you thought I was hiding that. Just moving out of the way. So basically, all I did here was I pulled up our lovely rFactor 2 mod manager, and I installed the DeLorean mod, which was again handed to us by our wonderful friends at Happy Hour Racing League. And so now I've got the files in my installed folder somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to I guess I'm in packages here, so I'll just up over to the main one. Let me just double check here, make sure. Okay, good. All of my audio seems to be coming through all right. So I'm going to go over here to my vehicles, and I'm going to find the, I think it's DeLorean. Yep, DeLorean right there. And then we'll hop in here. So we've got all of our mass files here. So what I'm going to do is, just to keep things nice and clean, I'm going to DCM, what I'm going to call this, MNRL DCM12. You can't see that, that's because that's right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these mass files. I'm going to pop them in here. So when you package up a mod, just to kind of like, give you the short and tall of it, what you want to do is get the files you're going to work with, update them however you need to, if you need to. In this case, this was an existing mod. I want to go in and update the teams folder so that way we have 3 different classes, 3 different driver classes for each of the 2 cars we plan on using. So you make sure that you have your files, and then what we'll do here is first we're going to have to edit the files. So we're going to go into the mass utility. We're going to pull in our team's mass. We're going to extract all these files, and I'm just going to put them into this new folder over here, so it's going to do its thing. They should all be here. Wonderful. And then so what we want to do is, if we look at these files, you've got the various ones here. What I'm going to do with these is I plan on taking out these ones here, because the only ones I want are the updated one, this one, and the floating one, the flying DeLorean. So those are the only 2 I want, and I plan on getting rid of just like all of these other ones, because I don't really need them. I don't want them. Although looking at this, I think these are the, yes, I see. Okay, so it looks like Brent went in and he's made these JSON files specifically for the different materials. So got to be kind of careful here. So I want to get rid of just the main DeLorean here. So basically, when you're dealing with this, you have a vehicle file, you have the icons, you'd have a template file, a livery file, which I'm not seeing anywhere. Let's just look real quick. Come on. I'll type. Sort this by type. Okay, so that makes kind of some sense, because he's not actually referencing any materials outside of just what he's put in here. So I don't think we have to worry too much about some of these other things. So like for instance, if we let's go back over here so we know which ones we're working with. So if we want, say, the flying DeLorean, let's go down and look at that vehicle file, flying DeLorean. Okay, so default livery black 1.dds, which I'm I'm guessing is probably, if we go over here and say we go back to our maps, I bet it's in our maps folder. Yep, black.dds. So that's what it's using as the main thing there. So it's just cross-referencing that. It knows where to look for that stuff within rFactor 2. So what we can do is we can say that one and that one, 1981 DeLorean, we can probably just go ahead and delete. Boop. And then we've got DeLorean hook icon. Remember, the hook was the thing that they used at the end of the first movie to get that wonderful electricity from the storm that went through. The DeLorean icon, the Back to the Future 1 DeLorean icon, we'll just keep that as it is. That one's there. And then we've got the Back to the Future 3. So there's Back to the Future 1 and Back to the Future 2. Isn't that fun? Alright, so we'll go Back to the Future 3 and we're going to just delete that. So that way we have just basic things to work with. So now, what we'll need is we'll go into our vehicle file. And so in this case, we're looking down at category. So I'm actually going to bring up a reference on one of my other ones just to make sure I have this all good. Because what I want to do is, we're going to change category. I just want to double check and see if there was anything else that we needed to worry about in terms of not just category, but I think classes. I know that in some of our SGS stuff, like we're looking here at our 993. So category, this is what it looks for whenever it's trying to find stuff in the, I think this one is the vehicle filter when you're looking at things for AI, that kind of deal. And then classes, that relates to the different classes that can pop up on the broadcasting side. But yeah, obviously they're able to match there. So I'm just going to kind of pull that off to the side here. So let's say we've got classes as so this is Back to the Future. I seem to remember. So let's pull up the other one real quick, just as a means of comparison. So Back to the Future Flying. I don't need all of these open. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and close these. Just close all of those so that way I know which one I'm looking at, because apparently I had only one open. I just don't want to confuse myself. Sorry if that was confusing. Alright, so looking at the notepads. Looking at the notepads. Okay, I guess I could probably just do that. And then do that. There we go. Alright, so DeLorean Motor Car, Back to the Future 2. What we'll want is, we'll say, so Back to the Future Flying. I'm going to actually MNRL to Back to the Future. DMC 12. And we're going to say Doc Brown. And because we're on the ground, and then down here we want to do the same thing. So we're going to say we'll do Pro. So that's this one. So say number 1, sure. Where did folder go? Okay, so there's that one, and so now what we want to do is change this to, but I'm just going to keep that as it is, so I don't have to go and change more icons than I need to, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, we're going to paste it. So this one's back to the flooring. Come on. I hate stupid Windows doing things. So we're going to say PA. And so that one's flooring PA. Oops. Unfortunately, now I gotta delete this stupid copy. Ugh. Boy, it'd be nice if I could just have computers do all this for me, right? This is the kind of stuff that gets annoying, because if you know, if you haven't been crafty and written a script or anything to do all this junk, then there's a good chance that it can get screwed up. Okay, and then what we're going to do on this one is we're going to call this one PA, and then retract length join PA. Sorry, no, that stays the same, because all of these are the same. So we're just going to call this 2. Okay. I don't care about that. Classes. Did it not save it? What? Okay, apparently I was in the flying one. Cool. Well, that's fine. Whatever. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to copy this. We're going to go over to the main DeLorean. So this is the category. We're going to go ahead and go bloop, bloop, bloop. And then we're going to go over here to the classes. Oh, you know what? I actually need to Doc Brown Pro. We're just going to have these be the same. Same between both. Alright, so that one's there. And this one is, oh, it's a flying time machine. Do I deal with that? Do we have 2 of these open? We do. Wasn't that wonderful? So PA. Let's put you down there so we can see what we're working with. Or you. Alright, so we've got the first one here. We've got the PA here. This is the Pro-Am. So we're going to do that. Pro-Am. There you go there. And we're going to do this. Pro-Am. Okay. Alright, and then where did our other folder go? We don't care about that. Let's go in here, and then we need our power. So we take the PA. I'm going to copy these. Oop. I'm going to paste. And we're just going to go am. And we're going to do that. There you go, that. Get rid of that one. Right there. Oops, come on. Basically just getting rid of all these copies that you see. Oops. That's that. And I think it's this last one. I don't think we actually need this one. DeLorean icon, am icon, am. What happened here? Oh, I see. We were. Oh, you bastard! What the hell's going on? All right, where's your other frickin' thing? Probably should have moved it to a different one. Alright, there's the regular one, and then there's the PAs. There's my PA. That's the one I want to change. There. Okay, so, as you can see with the icons, we've got all those, we've got all of those, and then we've got all of our AMs. So, we added 2 classes, and then we're going to get, of course, this one in here. We're going to call this AM. Now, as you can see, this is something of a pain in the ass. So, whenever you see admins having to update and do custom numbers and or custom liveries and stuff, this is what you have to go through for every single one of them in order to make it work. I know a lot of people have asked if there are ways of making it better, automated. The answer is no. There isn't. At least, not that I'm aware of. You know. So yeah, pretty straightforward. I mean, some of these things would change depending on which car you're looking at. Obviously, if it's a different type of gen file that you're working with, or an HDV. If, say, like you had a Porsche mixed in with this, those would be different for that one. But these are all the same car. Literally, the only thing that we're trying to change right now is the main class structure for when drivers are picking. Because what we want is we want to be able to track the different classes that are happening within the series via points, because we're going to have like a driver championship in classes. We're going to have teams championships, so we gotta figure that out. So yeah, we've got Doc Brown, Team Doc Brown in here, like that's happening with that kind of stuff. So we'll be tracking that kind of thing at the end of each night. It'll be good. So so yeah, we've got those are the only ones that we need to worry about. If we had other car liveries and stuff, those would change in here. These are all the same because we don't care about differentiating them via that way. For this particular championship, it's fine. And so now we're going to do the exact same thing with this guy. So we got Pro, and so this isn't Doc Brown, this is Marty McFly. Marty. So we're just going to, and we're going to change the manufacturer to Marty McFly. I don't know why I'm changing that. It's actually the driver. Sure. We're going to make this 04 because I like that, you know. Team out of 2010. No. 1985, baby. Alright, so we got the Marty McFly, and this is going to be Pro. Great. Alright, so this is our Pro team. We're going to copy and paste again. We're just going to do the same thing that we did before, where we go PA and AM. Up in the PA here. And we're just going to say Pro Am, say Pro Am, 5, Am, say, oh, come on, Am, the 6. Okay, so now we want to make copies of our fly guy here. And I'm just going to do something real quick where I just pop these into my screens. This is just so I don't have to frickin' deal with deleting copy. DeLorean icon, PA for Pro-Am, DeLorean PA, DeLorean PA, DeLorean PA, DeLorean PA, DeLorean PA. Okay, so then we'll copy these back in here. There, we didn't have to deal with that. We'll go in here, we'll pop those in, and we're going to say, come on. Am. 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 Okay. Cut. Let's put them in there. Alright, so now this should be everything. So those are the only things we've changed. We've only updated those items. We've deleted some of the other cars, but because we're not pulling them up in the teams folder, in order to have them, you need to have a vehicle file inside of here. That is how it populates whenever you go to the car selection. It sees a vehicle file and the other stuff in the vehicle file that it's referencing, like all of this stuff in here, the gen, the HDV, the sound effects, the cams, all that stuff. It will look for those things. If it doesn't find one of these, then it will not load the car. Or if it misses one, I think sometimes with the INI files, if it's missing those, it will still load. You might get certain error messages or something, but the typical behavior is that it just doesn't appear. It's just not there. So if you happen to be somebody modding or whatever, that's the behavior to expect. So now that we've got all this stuff here, we're going to go back to our, oh, I must have closed it, our mass utility, and we're going to create a new, create a new, well, actually, no, not that, sorry. We want to add files to mass archive. So there's that second icon right there. This is going to be on the desktop under the new folder. Wonk. So now this is our new mass file, and we're going to file save as. This is over here in this guy. This is the teams. So now it should have made a completely new teams mass file. That's the only thing that we're updating for this. Everything else is staying the same, which is great because I don't feel like doing a whole lot more work. So now we go back into our mass utility here. So now we've got our mass files. We've only updated the one, but that's fine. Everything else we've got all the other mass files. So now we want to create a single CMP package. Not a mod package, that's what you upload to servers, which will include the cars and the tracks and everything. Right now we're just doing a CMP, which is your cars, your vehicles, that kind of thing. Okay, so we're under a Pontiac Firebird for some reason, so we're going to go to the Dallara, and it's going to, alright, so it's looking for what to make. So we're going to go to our desktop here. I would put it in the packages, but I'm not. I want to have a separate one here just for grins. So we're going to call this MNRL DCM12. What are we calling this? Yeah, MNRL DCM12. And that's fine. That's just fine for right now. We don't have any versions or anything like that, so that's totally fine. So now we want to add our mass files, which, lo and behold, look at this. There they all are. Those are all the things we want. So now we're going to say package. Package? No, we're not packaging. Oh. Also, we should have changed this. And we don't want to update from this. So now, package. There we go. Okay. It was looking for version 1.67 and all this other stuff up here, and that's why it was not working. Totally forgot to uncheck those things, because we're making a new one. If you were doing updates, upgrades to mods, and you already have the existing package, you want to do an update where, say, it's only referencing a new file, like say we only just wanted to use the teams, we could do an update from. I prefer to do an entirely new one for most of these, just because it's a lot easier to go back and delete the old ones. Now what that does is it breaks the connections between some of them, but what it does allow you to do is to have the mod all in one place. So the pros of having it as an update are you only are updating small file changes. You're only putting like, you know, like maybe it's just the team's mass would be in this one, and that would be the update. And all the other files that you had, they would be kept in place. And that's great because you don't have extra files in there that you have to go back and like delete the original ones and whatever. Now, what is a problem is if something happens to any of those previous files, those previous versions, like they get deleted or for whatever reason you don't have them, it breaks. The other pros, of course, are like when you're making setups, if it's using an updated version versus a completely new one, it sees it like, oh, this is the original rfcmp or, you know, mod filing, whatever, from way back when for this other stuff. I don't know why I picked Delara here. We don't want Delara. Ugh. I just realized that. I thought it was DMC. DCM12. That's right, I did delete it before. So, hang on, let's go back over to this thing and refresh before I do this. NRL. Yep. Delete. Good. Okay, so now this is here. We're going to say package. That was just a mistake on my part. Totally missed that. I just saw D and thought DCM. Didn't even read it until I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then we're going to install it. Component installed. Great. And we should be able to know it's installed. Because if we go back over here to something that's got it somewhere, maybe. Yeah. Go into vehicles. So we got date modified. There it is. Boom. Version 1.0. It generates this MFT file whenever you do the packaging, in case you're wondering where the heck that came from. So I'm going to say done on that. I'm going to keep my mass utility right there. For the time being, actually, I want to, okay, so yeah, there's that. I'm just thinking order of operations here. So now what I want to do is actually double check this. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to play rFactor 2. I'm going to get this started and let that launch. Now, while it's going, what I also want to do is I want to load this up on a Steam Workshop. This is my own personal Steam Workshop that I use for MNRL stuff. It's an uploader type of program. So what you do is you would come in here, and I can't launch the exe right now because I'm launching it for rFactor 2 just to make sure everything loaded up all right, and it's actually going to load the cars into the circuit. But basically what you do is you launch this, you type in all of your stuff of what your workshop thing is, and then you would just create a folder. You know, in this case, it'd be like MNRL DMC 12, and you just pop that rfcmp right in here. You can see what we did for the BTCC stuff that we ran on our last club series. So that's all kind of fun. You know, you basically just toss them in here. It turns them into a single thing, a single page in the Steam Workshop that you could go to. In fact, I'll show you what I've got here. Your files, as you posted. See, it's right there. So if you were to go into this, right now it's unlisted because these are Serial Cherries cars. We're just basically recombining them. You might see on the workshop where people have ridiculous livery packs or whatever, and they don't care. They're just posting mods out there, and that's not cool if it's somebody's mod that they've put out, particularly if it's paid. You know, you want to have that paid DLC. Now, if it's encrypted or something, then that's where it gets a little bit trickier, particularly with actual stuff from rFactor 2. But in this case, you know, this is unlisted. We just did it for our league. I mean, these things exist. We gave credit to it in the original one, and they just it makes it easier for the members to just go in here, subscribe. Anything that we make changes to, like when we went back into the vehicle files and added ballast, we could just update it here. Members would get the updated version automatically through Steam, and it's all taken care of. So that's where that's convenient. Just waiting for this thing to hurry and load up so that way we can get in. It looks like we're going finally. Hopefully it just loads. It's been a while since I've launched on here, so I'm just hoping that. Okay, good. Thank God. Ah, jeez. Sorry to put you guys through this for anybody who's watching. Oh, we have a response. Bitrate, huh? For the stream, I think it's like 5 megabits per second. Yeah, so I think that's. I just popped it in there, in case you're still watching. You might have walked away. Sorry, I don't always have the dashboard up on my other screen because I had some other things going on over there. Yeah, 5200 kilobits per second. It looks like it's saying something like is out of recommended for Twitch. So I'm guessing that's probably the same thing going on over there. If it's coming across too low, I apologize. Or if it's jerky or anything like that, that might be doing something. Should be okay. Now the wife is on the TV right now, and she's streaming a bunch of stuff, so it's possible that it might be cutting in here and there. So just a quick refresher as we're going in here. We went in, we installed the original mod so that way we could get the files here in the original context. Then we went in and we extracted the team's mass file. Now if you made your own mod, you'd already have these things somewhere, so all you'd have to do is package up whatever you're going to do. You wouldn't have to necessarily install it to do that, because you would be installing it after you've made these changes. But I'm just showing you in case, you know, it works for whether you're dealing with existing mods or doing your own. It doesn't matter. It's the same sort of process. So we just went in, we just modified the vehicle files on the teams. We added icons for the different classes. We basically made 3 different classes for the 2 different cars that are in there. So 2 times 3 is 6. So we have 6 cars for the mod. And now what we're doing is after we went through and we packaged them up, made an rfcmp file, installed it, we're just going in here to make sure that it works properly. Because what happens is if you don't test this, almost every single time it will be screwed up. And of course I'm sure we go in here and we test it and it'll be fine. But that's just how rFactor 2 works. It likes to piss in your Wheaties, as they say. So yeah, that's the short and tall of it. So just trying to get this to hurry up and finish doing its updates. It's really choking on. It did have a ton of updates that it went through, and I apologize for that. It's just been a long time since I did stuff on this machine. Unfortunately, I've been on vacation on my other machine, and it kind of has all of my current working files and everything. So this one hasn't had an update in quite some time since then, probably about a month or two. So yeah, didn't think ahead of that. Sorry about that, everybody. Should be done here pretty soon. I guess grab a coffee, skip ahead if you're rewatching this on a broadcast later on. I'd love to sit here and say skip updates. I guess I'll just sit back and enjoy some synthwave metal. Oh god, nothing happened. I just hope it's not frozen. So if for whatever reason the retail build is going to sit here and crap out, I could unpackage the mass files and check it in mod dev, but that's not always reliable since you're adding those extra variables in there. It's a way that you can work with the files more open. Basically, the only difference is in that within mod dev you have extra tools to change things. But as far as like the file structures, retail build wants to see rfcmps and those mass files, and it makes sense because they're smaller and everything. Mod dev, the files are open to modify, although it seems to not like when you have open sound folders and I think open Teams folders. No, Teams are fine. I'm sorry, it's one of the other ones. I can't remember. But yeah, I know sounds it seems to have trouble with when it's not packaged up. Now that might just be because of the mods I've been working with, and they haven't been packaged, or they don't have references done in a way that would see folder structures outside of a mass file. I'm not sure. I don't feel like that's the case, but you never know. It's taking a really long time to wrap up this content packaging. I'm honestly a little concerned. Really long time. Can we skip the updates, please? Studio 397 in Bolivia. Goodbye. We will try again. Again, I do apologize, everyone. Just waiting. Just waiting. Waiting away. Oh. So we can close down some of these things here. Do 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 do. Again, I apologize, everyone. Just it's taken a long, long time. Do 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 do. Oh wow. Okay, this is taking a really long time. I can't say anything more about that. What I can tell you though is that we are looking at doing some very fancy mod updates here in the near future. So as soon as I get some of these test mules done, we can go back to some other streaming like you guys are used to, and we can show you some of the magic that happens there. How are we doing here? Is this thing loaded finally? Okay. So, big apologies for that. So now that we're back in here, let's take a look. Single player. Select car. And we're going to say DCM. Delore. There we go. Motor car. There it is. Okay. Okay, so something happened with our Doc Brown side of things. So let's go back in here. Let's go in our new folders. So the Doc Brown Pound and Ground time machine. We've got the AM. Oh, I see. It did get updated. Okay, so is that we've got AM Pro. We need Pro AM, so PA. But this says AM. Yes, it does. Okay. Okay. So now what we'll need to do, alright, we'll end rFactor 2, close rFactor 2. What we'll now do, let's refresh this. We're going to uninstall this. We're just going to say uninstall. Uninstall. Okay, so it's deleted it too. So we have all of our files here. So what we need to do is we need to add files to mass archive. Come in here. We'll go to the new folder. Where are you at? Where's the new folder? There it is. We're gonna add all of these, and then we're going to File, Save As. We're going to go back over to our MNRLD thing. And we're going to say Teams. Be very careful you don't accidentally double click on the wrong thing, because I've done that before, and it just, as you saw, it just overwrites. It doesn't even ask you, like, oh, do you want to overwrite this? It's like, oh, you know what you're doing. So if you're going to do it, just be very confident. Okay, so now we have our mass file updated. So now what we need to do is we need to make a new rfcmp. So we have all of our mass files. We want to do a single CMP. And we can keep all this the same since we're not, like, nothing's changed. We deleted the thing that we had before. Yeah, so we can say package, install, installed, done. And now we will launch again. On the plus side, I just gave you the very brief at, what is this, 43 minutes in, gave you the extremely truncated version of how this all works. You make the mass files, you package them into an rfcmp, so that way all of your loose files are inside the mass files, which you can think of the mass files as being like zip files. So it's like you coalesce those into where they need to be, so that way they can reference each other properly, and then you put all of that inside an rfcmp. Excuse me, it does all the proper references, and then that can just, that singular file has everything that you need for those cars, and then you just hand them off. Typically, whenever we're working with vehicle files, we do, as you saw with the British touring car stuff, you do a separate rfcmp for each individual model that is different. So I'm not talking about upgrades or anything like you saw before. No, this is only if so, like, you know, a Porsche 911, like a 992 GT3, let's say. that might have upgrades where you have, like, say, different tires or different headlights for different things. So you might have different cars that way, or like different liveries. Like, those aren't different models, that's all within the same models, referencing the same physics and all that stuff. Although you can, within that car pack, as you saw there, you could, if you really wanted to, have it reference different physics. Where you might want to do that is if you have like engine changes or something. So you might have that with different versions of that, and you can do that with upgrade options. You can do that as just separate cars. There are philosophies for doing it either way. It's just up to how you want to package it, how you want it to display to the users, and how maybe you'd want that to be utilized within maybe a championship or a competition otherwise. But there's no right or wrong way necessarily to do it. I prefer to avoid upgrades on a single car because it can lead to exploitation, and it can also cause things to crash when you get too many of those. Alright, so this is beautiful. We got AM, Pro, Pro AM. And then you look at Marty McFly. You click on these, all of them are coming up. I'm just going to pick the program and go to customize. I just want to load this up. Yeah, that's right. I have a separate showroom here, but I just want to make sure it loaded, so that's all I care about. And then if we go to Marty McFly, we'll do the same here. Takes a second, but it gets it in there. Cool. All right, so this is working. So now we can load this into our workshop. So we're going to close rFactor 2. So just a quick note, as you saw with the version number, we have version 1, and we put MNRL next to it. You want to be careful, and this is another kind of issue with some of the updates, is if you go the update route and you reference different things within that, if you have both versions installed, it can create different conflicts. So just, be aware that that's another issue to deal with. It actually is something that you kind of have to deal with, I think, with both mod updates, like version numbers, or just doing them as entirely new mod encapsulations versus just updating one component of it, like one mass file or one thing inside there. So I'm going to open up the Steam Workshop Uploader. You can get this online. I don't think it comes within rFactor 2 in any way. I think you have to download it through, I think this is a third-party thing. So we want to create an item. I have to enter a name. We'll just say MNRL back to the future. Create an item. Cool. Preview image file name. Let me look at this thing here. Workshop content. Yeah. Let's see. This logo. 1920 by 1080. So if I go, let me grab this one from our mods. Apologize, I'm just grabbing some content here. Chapters, MNRL, Back to the Future. Okay, so I'm going to grab this guy, toss it in here. And workshop logo. Boop. Now I think the limit on this is 2 megabytes. I might have to double check, it might be 1 megabyte. Let's take a look. Oh, come on. Sweet. I think it did it. MNRL back to the future. And you can put your description in here. I feel like it updates, so I'm actually going to end up copying and pasting it in the text file that this generates and references for an update later, because it unfortunately does a really crap job on it the first time. I'm going to change this to, I think friends only is the hidden. I usually do, like, you know, not the public one first, just to make sure. We'll just keep it on private for right now. Which, by the way, with rFactor 2, and I believe this is true with all developers, anything that is posted to a games workshop, the original developer has full visibility to everything that you have. So that's fun. Nice little thing to know. Let's see, so the original mod from HHRL and Brent Wheels has been generously provided to MNRL for a crazy mini series. Team Marty, McFly, and Doc Brown will duke it out for top honors. Okay, so tags, I wouldn't put these in here right now. You can add them later, again, via that file. And then we're just going to say submit. Oh, yep, there it is. Must be less than 1 megabyte. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back in here. I'm just going to go ahead and hit edit. I'm going to resize. I'm going to make this 50%. No, I'm not going to do that. I want to say file, save as. Yeah, come on, where are our files at? Okay. Yeah, and then, wait, where am I? It was supposed to give me an option. Menu, save as, image. I just want to save it as more compressed than what it is currently. That's all I'm doing right now. This is the kind of crap that ends up taking up way more. Fine. You know what we're going to do instead then? We're just going to do this because I don't feel like changing things. I'm going to resize 75%. We're going to save. Boop. All right. Failed, don't know why. Oh. Well, it helps when you actually put the thing in there, right? Huh. All right, so our rfcmp, we're going to copy that and put it in here. Because there's nothing in here. It's like, oh, I want to upload something, but there's nothing there. I bet this works if we do this. Check that out. Sometimes you make stupid mistakes, right? But it's nice because you guys get to see it and then know how I screwed up and what the fix is when I actually figure it out. So it goes through. This might take a dump on the stream while we're uploading here. Hopefully not, but it might. Do 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 do. Just doing our upload, doing our upload, doing our upload, doing our upload, upload, doing our upload, doing our upload, doing our upload, 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 do 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 do. Okay, success. All right. Hopefully that didn't kill the stream too badly. I unfortunately am on wireless right now, so that could have an impact. So we do have to close this in order for it to show up here on Steam. So if we go to Workshop, if we look at files, excuse me, pardon me, that you've uploaded, if we go into it, it's going to say current visibility. It's only visible to you, and that's fine. That's all good there. Now you can go in and you can do a lot of customization to all your description and everything. You can use like I think if you look it up on Steam, you can change like bolding. You can insert images. You can do all kinds of stuff. Right now, I'm not going to worry about it because this is just a small private thing for posting, and that's all fun stuff you guys can figure out later. I'm just going to change this to unlisted. It's going to oh, I guess it did that right away. Cool. And then yeah, just take note of your, if you want to share it, you just copy this and then you send it on your way. And now people can subscribe to your workshop, and it's all good. Yeah. Next up, we will do a stream on how to actually set up the server. But for now, I'm going to end this one, and we'll go into that one on the next stream here in just a bit.